I like it.
Rocking out to my own music there. Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome. Frank, KG6NLW here. And today we're building with a very special guest. Let's bring him on real quick. Hi,
Okay.
Chuck.
I didn't even
I'll
turn my
put you
lights
in the
on, but
better
oh
one.
well.
Well, that's okay. You can do it anytime you want. You're bright enough. Hi, Chuck. How
How's
you
it going,
doing?
man? Good.
I'm doing
I like
good.
the
So,
music. Did you make that music yourself?
nope. I
Oh, okay.
pulled a Shane. I pulled a Shane. I pulled it from another source.
Okay. Well, you said
Makes
my
it
music, so I thought maybe you had.
No, makes it easy that way to get things going. All right, so let me just flip over to here and we'll do this. Oh, wait, this. There we go. So today we're going to be building the Poseidon by you guys at Coffee and Ham Radios.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
been a pretty good little antenna. Surprised us.
Sounds like it. It's going to be interesting to see how well this works for me. I like the Velcro strap. Is that your idea?
Yeah, I found those originally. We had some for a while that had an ape on them, but they they
Gotta
went
have
away.
the ape on everything.
But we can't give them that much credit, you know.
Right.
Cooley, what's going on, man? Mike, good seeing you in there. Mike likes this antenna too. He's got his mate.
N2MAK Mike.
He's been doing some experimenting, and we've been chatting back and forth.
So, unfortunately for me, I don't have the instructions pulled up, so I'm going to have to try and do this off of memory.
So yeah, the first thing I would do is throw that VNC in there, get it nice and tight, get
Yeah.
the cup kind of turned up. I forgot to tell that to. I thought TL knew that last night, but he has. I don't think he's building it. He's been on the road, so he hasn't really built too many antennas recently. But that's instrumental in later getting getting everything kind of lined up for you.
Right.
Your wire links and all that kind of stuff.
Just me or that bit of a tight fit there.
It's a tight fit. It's a tight fit,
Okay.
and it varies. It varies from vendors sometimes. Who prints them for us? The
There
machine
we go.
that we would buy one of these, except they're like 30 or 40 grand for a machine,
Right.
and we just can't afford that. None of us can afford that. You'd have to go in business, doing that
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
Got Jeff in here tonight. Cooley's in here tonight. Andy's in here tonight.
Hi, guys. I am sort of paying attention to chat, not really, but Chuck's in charge of chat stuff tonight. Because, as you can see, I am trying
Can
to
you hear
put
the guy with
everything
the?
together.
Can you hear that that leaf blower?
What leaf blower?
Never mind then. And one of my neighbors has just decided to blow leaves. I guess it's going to rain here tonight, so
I
tomorrow.
feel like my external fan is a little louder than that. All right, so I have this little circle where the ground lug goes
right
off to the side. Should I bend it inward?
Are you right-handed? Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Left-handed.
No, yeah, put it on that side.
Okay. So do that.
The only reason I say that, it seemed to me for the other side, I'm right-handed, and it seemed to be good for me for winding the wires on later.
Hey, I made a magic loop. Watch the loop come undone. There we go.
Like he's made contacts on 10 through 80 with that antenna.
Very nice. Just long as he didn't run it at power on 80.
Well, we're not sure that Ape didn't have something else messed up there too. I've done 80. I actually talked on 80 one evening or one morning because I wanted to test it and see how it would do. And it was local, you're not like 80 is not a real long band most of the time. Anyhow, sometimes it is. I used to get up like at 1:30 in the morning and talk to my buddy back in Indianapolis all the time, Gary, and a bunch of people that he knew.
Let me get all this put together here. The screw and nut go.
Put it right to the left of the BNC. No, the other end where your thumb is.
Here. Okay.
Yeah, but it goes in from the bottom. If it screws in, that's good. Some of them screw in, some of them just go in. It's
Yeah, I'm gonna have to screw that in.
That's good. I like it when it screws in. It'll hold it without the nut being on there.
Of course, I have to find where my screwdriver went. That's the one thing I forgot. There it is.
Andy, if you do that, Andy, let us know. But you'll have to measure. The problem with getting it higher is you'll have to measure out your radials. You'll have to be
And then
the
they'll
right
be
lengths.
elevated too.
It would probably work better if you, but I think you need to do it for all the bands too. I have not done that other than like I did some stuff back in the day when I was wearing CB and you had, pre-cut for one band.
Right. I have radials for my current infed half wave at 10, 15, 20, and 40 meters. 40 meters is the only half wave radial set I have because I have the space. The rest of them are quarter waves.
Oh, I don't think it on the infed half wave. I don't think it makes that much difference.
All right, just so I don't lose stuff, I have that there. And then I'm going to do with this toroid, and it's the green side, right?
Yeah, well, whichever side you want up. I actually don't even put the heat shrink on mine usually, but I'm constantly tearing things apart on mine. We're testing all the time. I tested the other night, taking radials off and seeing how the SWR changed. It actually did better. Now this is on my property, on my ground.
Right.
It did a little. I mean, it wasn't a huge difference. 40 was the biggest difference. It was like an S unit or two. I forget what it
So
went
I
from.
want to take 3 inches before I make a turn, right?
Yeah, I usually bend that over about like in a 90,
And
right there
just
someplace.
for everyone's reference, one of these squares is an inch.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3.
So I'm probably one of
That.
the few people that actually use those cutting boards for what they're for.
What's funny is this had been a sewing room cutting board for the sewing room,
That's what it is. Yeah.
but I
I
liberated it for other things.
yeah. Have you ever used it for cutting? It's pretty cool. You use a
Oh,
rotary
yeah.
cutter. That's awesome for cutting stuff.
All right. Now, this is where things get tricky for me. I've made the 90 to get back up in the camera here. I've made the 90-degree bend,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go over, through, and make sure I don't cross the wires at the same time.
Yeah, and when you get to the next one, let me don't do anything, and I'm going to give you a little hint here, make it a little bit easier.
Does it have something to do with this, maybe?
Actually, I don't put that on. Ape and I don't put that on until we get at least one turn in there, or a second turn.
Oh, okay. So
No, that's not what I'm talking about, though. I guess you haven't watched my how to wrap a toroid video.
I think I've missed that one. To be
Now,
quite
if you
frank
take
with you, Chuck.
Frank, let's be frank about this. If
Right.
you take your thumb and push it down, like bend it over the top and push it down and pull it through, you can usually get just a little bit tighter, and you can kind of tell whether you're crossing the wires too, so a little easier. Andy Cowley in the house. Robert's here too. Robert, he didn't make the DX convention.
Wife and
His
driver.
wife
No
and
fun.
driver are sick. That's no fun.
All
They
right.
get better.
So I have made my first. That's my first turn, right?
That's 2 turns.
Okay,
Right.
so that's 2.
And if you just line them up on those, well, you didn't put enough marks on. You needed 2 more sets of marks, but that's fine.
Okay.
Just go in between them too. Mike, I think it's. I can get back to you, but I think it's 5 millimeter. No, I forget. I'd have to look it up for you. Let me see if I can while we're doing stuff here.
Trying to keep these as
This is
spaced out as I
want to be
can.
here. Move this.
So
Yeah.
just to make sure I'm doing it right, if we use 12, 6, 3, and 9 with my marks, I want one
One in,
loop between each clock face.
yeah, that should give you 8.
Okay.
Let's see here. Orders. Mm,
Now, without mentioning by name, Chuck, I did invite our other guest if he had the time to join.
I think he might have had to see his parole officer tonight.
Yeah. Apparently, he had something going on, and I'm like, okay, that works for me. He can come on the next
103,
show.
Mike, 103 millimeter flat width. He might. You never know. You never know about that guy. He might show. Did you get that, Mike?
Yeah, he did. The only thing I don't like about my winding, maybe it's just me, is they're sideways.
They will be
Okay.
a little bit.
And they definitely could be a lot tighter.
Yeah, just get them tight and try to keep them side by side, nice as close as you can. I don't know that it makes a difference. Everything I read said you should, but and I'm not sure that might be somebody's problem with his burning up on 80.
Well, this is what
That
it's
looks
looking
good.
like
It
so
looks
far.
good. Looks good. Looks good. Just keep them nice. Just get them as high as you can.
Considering this is the second toroid I've ever wound, the first one was the link dipole antenna.
Okay. That was the 1-to-1.
You know your antennas better than I do, Chuck.
Hey, Jeff, Robert, good seeing you guys in here.
All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Robert's
7. One more.
Robert's going to do his first POTA activation on, I think, this Sunday after hunting almost 500 parks.
Very nice. And Mike,
Great. Have
thank you
fun
for
out there, Robert.
dropping. Mike, please use the other link.
Oh, it's
There's no dashes in the name, Mike. All right, so while it's not pretty towards the end, I have 8
you have 8.
wraps and a go in
Let me
zig, go out zip.
let me count them. Let me count them.
There you
1,
go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, got it right.
Now,
So
it
now
doesn't. I need to strip the enamel off of some of these.
you take the 2 middle ones, are going to solder together,
These two?
and the 2 middles. Well, make sure that everything looks good. Nothing's crossed, right?
Nope. Let's hear.
So you take what I usually do is take the 2 outside ones and kind of bend them to the side, and then take the 2 middle ones and bend them in.
So the two. Okay, so let me.
The 2 outside wires go out.
And so these are the 2 middle ones.
No. Okay, no. Take the you're okay. Put them all where you have them. Now the outside of each pair.
Oh,
Okay.
the outside of each pair. Okay.
Yes.
So those are the ones going.
And then the 2 middle ones you're gonna strip fairly close to the toroid. So pick one of them to be your long one. One of them's going to go all the way into your BNC.
I'll take the longer one to be the long one.
It won't be very long when you get done. But anyhow,
Right.
So about, I say, a quarter inch away from the toroid, start stripping both of them.
Okay. Here comes the fun part, guys. And
It's going to be a little noisy, guys.
Hopefully it's not too noisy.
Yeah, Andy, a 10-meter pulse, perfect. I hope that's what you ordered, Andy, because that's what I sent you. Nobody could tell me for sure what you ordered.
So right
That
about
never
here.
happened. Yeah, you want it fairly close. I mean, fairly close. So you just don't want it bare right next to the. What I usually do also is I'll bend them both halfway in.
Oh. Yeah, that'll work.
Look at that. Maybe Abe's onto something with this Dremel stuff. I don't know.
Comes right off like it's nothing. I'm probably overdoing it on a little bit, going too wide, but better safe than sorry. Make sure you
No,
get it
because
all off.
you're gonna end up all the way to the end anyhow. Because it's gonna what you're gonna do is you're gonna wrap one around the other, real nice tight, nice tight little wraps around it,
Right.
and then solder that, and then you're going to cut that one off.
Shave a little more. All right. So I have that one done. Now I have to do the same thing on this other
Same thing
center
on
one.
the other one. Yes.
Okay. And let it be known on my live stream, Chuck admitted that 8 might be right.
Did I say that? I thought that was my inside voice.
Oh, was that your inside voice? Well, it was
Dang it.
awfully loud.
Mike wants to see my review on the Dremel I ordered.
Oh, you just
I'm
ordered it last night.
I know
Give,
the thing. It's not
give
going to
him
be
a
here till
chance
like
to get it.
Tuesday. No, he says he can't wait. He wasn't complaining.
All right, so I have
Hopefully
both
it's
of them
quieter
stripped
than yours.
down.
Okay, now just pick one of them to be the straight wire, and then take the other one and do
And
some
wrap
nice
it around.
wrap it around 2 or 3 times, about 3 times, nice and tight. Keep them nice and close to each other though, because you don't want any extra length if you can help it.
I didn't.
You get your
One, I
soldering
didn't
iron
shave them.
turned on.
Battery operated. It heats up almost as quickly as
Okay.
TO's did.
Now you guys, you talk about old. Teal was talking about his old solder. Frank has Radio Shack solder. It's like a 1 pound roll that has like 30 ounces off of it. So that's how much he solders. Oh wait a minute, 30 ounces is way too much. Like half an ounce off of it.
Not even a half ounce. All right, now I trim this.
Uh-oh. You can trim that one off, but
Okay.
I usually solder it first and then trim it.
All right.
Just
Well, it's
because.
going to be.
All right, Robert. Frank has to tell me later why I need to see his feed box.
Well, that's heating up, which will not take too much. Chuck was not kidding. This is my Radio Shack solder.
Have you actually used it?
Oh yeah, I've. It's not going to show too well.
It looks like lead.
This is the old school stuff, so it probably is. I mean,
Yeah.
it even has the warning label on it. So. Let's see, now these spaced out a little bit
Vince.
on the forward.
Radio Shack solder, the bomb.
Hi, Vince.
I used all mine finally. I didn't have that size roll though. I had the next size down.
And Chuck, I'm going to be very blasphemous. I have no flux, and this is just going in raw.
Well, my solder's got flux in it, so I don't use flux usually for this. Unless you have problems, but you shouldn't.
While we wait another moment for that to heat up, do I need, on these outer 2 wires, what part do I need to take the enamel off? Just the ends?
Just depends on which. Like one of them's going to go to that ground lug, and then to the bolt, to the nut. So you'll have to have anything from just before the ground lug to the actual screw.
Okay.
For the and you can just solder that thing. You don't have to really crimp it.
I can smell this heating up, so it is. There we. Might help if I were in camera view, Frank.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. I mean, I check my videos later. It's like, man, why was I so far off? You get into soldering and stuff, and you don't know. And usually, it's not the camera angle is not where it's easy to solder.
Right. I mean, people are only seeing a corner of my head. I didn't think of that one as I was setting this up. It's almost there. I can smell it. And yes, I have all the for the safety people, I have all the proper precautions for the solder, unlike Steve did last night. So
Yeah,
no OSHA.
I just hold my breath.
Ah, there's a little tip of the magic smoke.
You haven't got that soldered yet?
Doing it right now. It takes it a minute to heat up, but once it does, as you can see, my iron is not very clean.
Looks all right. Can you, when you get done there, maybe take? I'm trying to see. Is it? What do you have on there? Is that the messages? It's kind of covering the screen.
Oh, the chat.
I can't
That.
read them anyhow. Yeah, I can't read them anyhow. So
All right, chat goes away.
there now you can see. Now you can see what you're doing.
This is actually taking longer than I thought it would to heat up.
Vince says
So-
if you can get a Hecko soldering exhaust fan if you want one of these days.
Oh, I have enough exhaust in here. I'm
In
not
this
too
in the
worried about it.
summertime, I have a fan above my head, and that works pretty well. But it's too cold, too not warm enough yet for that thing here.
It's almost like it's going to be raining outside right now.
I know.
Up here.
Actually, it looks sunnier here now than it was earlier. It's been blowing like crazy too. It's getting. You can tell that something's coming. So you can cut
So
the one you saw the one you
I
wrapped
haven't
around. Cut
soldered
it.
this. Yeah.
Okay. So then what you want to do is you got the very middle hole for the toroid, and then there's one on each side of it. So what you want to
Right.
do is kind of put it to where it's centered between the two, and then cut your wires to where it'll go inside a little ways on your BNC. And you can adjust that a little bit, and it'll go in quite a ways.
So I have a question for you, and I'm going to use my multi-tool for this.
Mm-hmm.
If I just, while it's connected, once I trim this off up here,
Mm-hmm.
if I just solder all of this all at once, would that be fine?
You just gotta don't get too much on it,
Okay.
because if you get too much, it's a pretty well. Actually, that wire's not too bad, because that's 18 and 16 will fit in that BNC with no problem. So you can kind of pre-solder it if you want to. That's not always a good thing.
Let me take a little more of this.
Wow, 90 degrees in Bakersfield today.
Oh, I'm glad I'm on a.
It might have been the upper 60s here, maybe 70, but I doubt it. Yesterday it was.
I'm on eastbound runs right now, not southbound runs. Those are absolute nightmares going where it's really hot. I wonder if batteries are. Thought I put fully charged batteries in here. All right, we're going to.
I already have one camera die, guys. Just saying.
Who, me?
He's got lots of cameras, he said, though, or lots of batteries.
Oh yeah, I have tons of batteries.
I just got one of those fake ones from that camera right there. That's the best thing I ever did.
All right, let's see if that comes up at all. Meanwhile,
yeah, Mike, it looked like your snow melted finally. That first video, man, you were nothing but snow everywhere.
So how far
So
into the BNC
you want
connector?
blue. You want the blue up or the green up. So here's the deal. Which
Yeah,
of your other two wires is the longest? They look about the same. Looks like you got it pretty even.
yeah, they're. Let's see.
Because
That's
the opposite side of your ground lug is going to go to the back, so it needs to be
yeah, they're
forward.
about the same.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's blue or green on top, whichever you want.
How far in realistically should this go?
It goes in
Pretty far.
eighth of an inch or a little bit more, maybe. They're pretty. Some of them are pretty deep.
Even with that, I have to trim some back.
Yeah. Excuse me. And then what I will do is just I'll set it to where it lines up perfect between the other two, so that when you put your zip tie on there, it's nice and lined up nice.
Well, we're still waiting for that to heat up, so let me zip tie this.
I don't zip tie them down until after I solder did.
I'm just going to do a loose zip tie on the back end.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll catch that wire with the back zip tie, the wire that goes around. So leave a little room there, maybe.
So,
And I'll say one thing: the reason I have a lot of input on the development on this stuff, since I use this stuff probably more than portable than anybody else does, and the reason we try to keep away from too many screws is because the screws stick up. I mean, we could go with just a little bit shorter screw, but that would hamper you if you wanted to add more radials or something, right?
exactly.
But I don't like extra stuff sticking down to catch either my skin or the wire. We're thinking about changing something on it, but I'm not sure if we're going to or not yet, which will make it even sleeker.
So
Okay,
we're
so
going to do.
what you're going to want to do now is kind of figure out where you want to be, just on your wherever you put your ground lug on the BNC. You want that to be
I'm
fairly
still
close
here.
to your screw and nut there, but you're going to want to take all um, the enamel off just before and after that one.
Oh, yeah.
So we're
And
gonna.
I did exactly what Steve was trying to avoid last night. I burned the tip.
Should come right off.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Chuck. It's me. Nothing comes right off with me.
You heat it right next to the top there, not
I
the end of
did.
it. Heat the part closest to the ringlet. Yeah, right
The
there.
flame's big enough that I just.
Now just pull it off of there. Should pull
There
right
we
off.
go.
Because if
And
you don't do that and you just pull them off, you end up bending those things. And ours are they're like perfect for the size of that screw. There's no extra. That thing working
oh,
now?
I may have. No.
I don't see any smoke.
I saw a whiff of smoke and I thought, oh, good, it's ready. Apparently not.
Well, thanks, folks, for dropping in. And tonight we're not going to have a class on soldering for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to solder this a different time.
Yeah, and as Vince says, hit that thumbs up, people. I think I actually didn't get mine yet because I was waiting for it to come on. Look at that.
All right. Now, more removal of enamel.
It does look like you got your color right on your camera there. I'll give you that one.
The on the
You got your white balance set just right, I can tell.
well, Chuck, I am a professional photographer.
Actually,
the rest of it,
the one I have here has kind of a yellowish green to it. The one I'm using, that's actually one I've used a lot, to tell you the truth.
I am planning on upgrading the camera eventually.
Prep Hand Paul's in the house.
Hey, Paul. And I see Jason in here.
Yep, Jason's in here too.
Cyber Jason. What did he say? Something about Omni Fix It?
Yeah.
Jason, I have no
Oh,
idea what
and
that
Lee
is.
made it. Lee made it in here. Looks like.
Oh, very cool. Hi, Lee. Thank you all for dropping by. We all know you're here for Chuck, not me.
Oh, I don't know, man. Has to go through the ground log too.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So I'm watching you.
I would have pulled a big GM and gotten that all mucked up.
Yeah. Then Chuck, this antenna doesn't work. Our first question. Let's see a picture of it. If it's a
Right?
high quality picture.
And that's
I'll
why
tell you
folks
what.
do it live.
And Ape doesn't miss anything in a picture. What's that thing back there on your shelf? Is that a hat? You know, you're actually looking back there.
He's looking at things you don't know he's looking at.
I know you got to be careful what's in the. Can't leave anything out
That
that's secret.
that's why green screen. That's why Ape and Jim have them.
I did a green screen for a while. It's a pain.
That's why Ape and Jim have them. They don't want you looking at what they have behind you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen behind gyms, man.
I think at one point or another we all have. There have been times where the live stream stuff malfunctions.
That never happens. Come on in.
First time live streaming, huh?
So I'm getting into this adventure bike riding, right?
Okay.
So I've been looking at like soft bags for motorcycles are ridiculously priced. I looked at some of the nicest ones out there. It's this one company. I won't even mention the name of it. $1,000 for bags. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? They just went up because they were like 800. Now they added a new color, so I guess they had to pay for the new color or something. I don't know. It's crazy. And you can get them. You can get really cheap ones off of Amazon for $160.
Now,
Now,
I will say this,
they're not
folks.
as good.
I
So
will
go ahead.
say that for some reason, my Weller is not wanting to heat up. It's constantly showing red. When it's all heated up, it should be green.
Oh,
It's
the
not showing
battery's
that.
dead.
So I'm going to have to do the soldering later. So for now, I'm just
Well,
putting
you can go
stuff
through all the
together.
steps.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't solder on top of the. You can burn or melt the
The
winder.
plastic, yeah.
Nylon. It's nylon.
Yes, nylon, that's right. So the
You
last
can leave
one,
this. You can leave this thing in your car on even in the Fresno weather, and it's not going to be. It's not going to look like it curled up on the ends when you get done.
how about
At least as far
Barstow?
as I know. It'll work in Barstow too. I'll tell you, I came back from Grand Canyon. What's the town between Barstow and Grand Canyon that's not too far from Barstow?
Needles?
Yeah, Needles. 118
Oh,
at
I
like
believe it.
5 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something. It's crazy.
In Needles, it doesn't get down to the upper 80s till 1 in the morning. So, yes, I believe it.
Yeah. So I used to coach soccer, and I was coaching this women's team for a while, and we played in out in the valley there. I forget the name of the town. 8 o'clock in the morning, it was 90 degrees already.
Oh, I believe it.
I think it just cooled off from the night before it finally got down to 90. Then it started getting hot again.
Yeah,
We
that
had
sounds about right.
So you have 11 kids on the field, right? We had 10 because one got hurt.
Ooh,
We're playing this team that they were subbing 5 or 6 at a time because they knew we didn't have subs.
right.
We tied that team 1-1 and went to a
Amazing.
shoot off and lost 5-4 in the shoot off. And the one girl was like crying. I go, "What are you crying about?" She goes, "Well, I missed my goal." I go, "You're the only reason we were in that shoot off. You saved so many goals."
Oh, I bet.
And so
So
she felt
this
better.
other wire
So
that
what you're
goes
going to
to the
do is bring
radio.
that around to you see where the holes for the wire come through the back? You know how that feeds through the back there? So you just want
Right
that
here.
over, you want it to come around to the back of it, and you're going to make just a little, just something like, I make it like a little circle in there so I can put the wire in there and might make a nice little solder puddle.
So like,
And then when you put your wire, you'll tie a little knot in it so that it won't pull through there anyhow. But we just do that as a safety. You don't need to, because the strain relief is pretty tight, especially with the 22 gauge. And I will say, when you get a chance, tighten up all your little, get your wires closer together. Each wrap. Oh, that's way better, man. We can actually see it now. Right, leave it there. No, not that far.
oh, that's going to be good enough for now.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's pretty good. We can see it now.
I'm like, wait, I can't see that. I'm like struggling on my screen, so I know everybody else is. Okay, so this I have clipped over.
So just bring it. You want to go right to the back of the toroid, not in the very back there. Just where you're right to where your
So if I'm
zip
holding
ties
these
at,
tight,
to where your zip ties at, and try to bend. Okay. Here's the other thing. Don't put it underneath the toroid. Bend it.
okay.
Just kind of work it around the toroid, so it's like a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch away from the toroid,
See,
all the
now
way around.
here's
See, it went
the issue.
underneath.
Yeah, it
There you
went
go.
underneath and across.
And I usually, I've got these. We don't put in the kit, but I usually try to get something to hold those two together as long as it can. Where it comes apart there, right there where you're at.
right here.
But just make it just kind of follow the circumference of the toroid about 1/8 of an inch away from it, and then just end it right at the back where that zip tie is. So just follow the radius of the toroid, not outward, not way outside the
Okay.
thing, just next to it, but not under it. Okay, if that makes sense. Man, Paul's giving you a bad time there.
I think he's giving himself a bad time.
Well, he said you follow the directions.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, you're going to want that a little bit tighter to the toroid still.
A little tighter. Okay.
Here. Oh, shoot. I don't really have one here.
I'm not trying to get it under the toroid too far.
You just don't want to be under it, but you just want to be kind of next to it. I don't know that it would make a difference if it was under it, but I try to keep a little space.
Sorry, right?
Yeah, that looks better. Okay. And then just make a little circle right where right where your zip tie comes out. Make something right there, and then that's where your wire is going to solder to that wire. So you're going to have to actually strip that off too, so you can solder
almost like a
wire
horseshoe.
Yeah, just a little small one. I usually take you're not using just take your needle nose on your toy on your you cutting it? Yeah, with your Leatherman there.
Right.
Just make it about the size of the end of that on half of it. Just kind of like twist it, make a half circle, a 3/4 circle.
Oh, let me strip some of this enamel away first.
Yeah, do that first. It's hard to get inside once you bend it.
And this is not the lowest setting on this Dremel, but it's maybe 2 instead of 4, 6, or 8. And you can see it comes right off.
Vince, I would have thought he was talking about the beer also. I don't know. It's strange.
What did Vince say?
I was talking about somebody looking on the shelf behind him and asked about the percentage on the IPA was, and he says he thought they were asking about the beer he was drinking, and that's what I would have thought too. IPA, the most popular beer in California for sure. I don't know about you guys' all the other states, but that's the popular beer. Hazy IPAs now.
I can
You
probably
can clip a lot of
clip
that off, yes.
about that.
Yeah, it's not really, you just need enough there that you can solder to.
I don't want to underclip. And okay, let me. I haven't even opened this yet. But I don't need this until I start making the element, right?
And that's the real easy thing about this antenna. You're going to cut it 25 feet. Ape put in there 25 feet 4 inches and fold it over. 2 inches is plenty because you're going to make it 25 feet.
So
And then you're
where
going
does
to cut.
this other ring terminal go? On here?
That's for your ground radials.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to worry
So
about that.
you'll put 4 wires into that you cut at 17 feet. And I usually cut them like 17 feet 2 inches.
Right.
And then I fold it over 2 inches, and I leave like a little loop at the end just in case you do want to spike them out. I don't ever really bother spiking them.
So just for my instructions and for others, we're going to pretend this
You're going to
nice
go
long.
in.
We're going to
Yep.
pretend this nice long piece of solder is the actual wire.
You're going to go in and up
Going to go
in that first hole.
In from the end like that.
So if you take the very end of that wire, that solder, and put like a little 90 in it, and then as you feed it in, feed it up through that first hole. And sometimes you got to take something and push it through, but
yeah, I have to.
And it may
I
not
don't
go
want to use the soldering gun.
So basically, you're going to go in, up, down, and back up, and that will be your so it won't pull out. And we usually just put a knot in the end of it just to even make sure more. It will not pull out though, I don't think anyhow. But
so we're just going to pretend.
I mean, it'll break before it pulls out.
We're going to pretend I went in through the end there. So up.
Okay. And then down, and then back up.
And then down.
And that's your strain relief.
And again, I'm just using solder right now just to simulate this.
And like I said, if you try to pull it out of there, you'll probably bust the wire before you can pull it out. But we usually put a knot in it just to make sure.
And then these two get soldered together.
Connect. Yes.
So like I said, trim that back a little more.
Yeah, and that was my input because I don't like a lot of stuff sticking up on my antenna.
And once I have that done with the wire.
But if you want to do it with another, you can pick up 2 more ringlets. You can put a bolt in one of those holes right to the right or left of it.
Right. Sort of like this.
And you can run your wire there if you want to. It's an 832 is what we use. And I think it's a 1/2 inch. I think. If you want to do that. We just don't supply that because I don't
That's
really...
extra work.
Well,
I don't care.
I don't like having the other one, to tell you the truth. Oh yeah, guess who gets to do all the work too?
You do.
That's right. I do a lot of the work.
So I'm gonna have to solder this and get the actual counterpoise or not counterpoise radiating element there.
Look, the antenna is so easy to build. Even Frank can do it.
And okay, minus the soldering, of course. Minus the soldering.
Yeah, we don't know if he can solder or not.
10 minutes quicker than Steve did.
Yeah, but you didn't have Ape and Jim telling him bad instructions.
Yeah, true. I didn't have the back and forth banter that Steve had last night. Let me get the solder back out.
So if you guys, anybody out there, if you guys build a lot of antennas or try to build a lot of antennas or whatever, get you some of these. These are, it's like the smallest. They're like 3. Let me see how long they are. I think they're 3 inches, 4 inches maybe. Yeah, they're 3-inch wire ties. They're tiny, and sometimes if I need to get wires like that wire that comes around the back, sometimes I like to actually tie that one up so it won't separate. But those work really good for a lot of things. They're tiny, see, Look at
Oh,
that.
oops, wrong one. Not
Yeah,
like my
these
first time doing anything.
they're really tiny. 3 inches long. You could buy like 1,000 of them for
There you go. Now you're
a
solo.
couple bucks. Couple bucks for 1,000. I use them all the time.
Right.
Then I have the 4 or 6 inch ones also.
Oh, Chuck, I want to thank you. Despite the soldering iron still not working, I'm just gonna have to
Yeah,
go
what's
grab
up
some
with that,
fresh.
man? You should prepare a little better.
You know, I made sure that the rechargeable Amazon batteries were charged
Uh-oh.
before I pulled them off the charger right before the start of the live stream.
We've
So
all heard that before.
you would think that they would have been good, but apparently,
Andy, it takes me about 15 minutes, Andy, to make this. If I'm not filming.
but that's you. You're the antenna master.
IPA sucks, says Cooley. I like a good IPA, but I do like a good porter also. Oh man, I should show you the ones. Oh, I drank the last one the other day. It's Cooley. I got a beer for you, man. It's what's the name? Milk Truck or something like that. It was a latte, porter or a stout, one of the two.
Is it
Really,
one of
really
those
good.
beers that Jason and Mike wouldn't like?
I don't think Jason doesn't like porters. I think I don't. He
Okay.
likes those weird beers, like
Right.
pickle juice, sour pickle juice beer. That's not me.
No.
I don't like the fruit beers either. Sometimes a little bit, but not. Oh man, some of those are just.
Well,
I
Paul,
think
if you came here to find out what not to do, don't use a cheap battery. Well, this was top of the line at one point. Don't use a removable battery operated soldering iron. You will have a bad time. That's the
Jeff
one.
likes
Don't.
the Belching Beaver Pale Ale.
That is an
I
interesting one.
I think Pale Ale and IPAs are similar. They're all hoppy. First time I ever had an IPA, I'm not going to say I was drunk, but I had a lot to drink that day, and I still
Right.
could not put that. I could not put that thing down. It was like, oh my god, I can't drink this. We were making beer that day. So when you make beer, you got to drink beer.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Chuck, I want to thank you for coming on today and
Hey, no problem.
doing this with me. And once I get this soldered, I'm going to put together a video and hopefully have a POTA activation with it.
We should have went out with you down at Quartz Fest and tried.
Yeah,
I have mine with us. I know.
I kept offering.
No, I know. It's like you got like 15 different people pulling you different directions sometimes, and just trying to make everybody happy,
Oh, remember, Steve said that he really should have gone instead of going to the dinner thing because he didn't like the dinner thing.
Which dinner thing? I don't know what you're talking about.
He stayed for the all-in barbecue dinner thing.
The what?
The potluck.
The potluck? The potluck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't go to the potluck.
Yeah, he stayed for that instead of coming out to POTA, and he's like, I should have come with you to POTA. I'm like,
I know I made contacts with you, but I didn't hear me on any of your videos so far. So I'm just saying.
My POTA, yeah, my last POTA video is the one that just posted Tuesday night. So that's it from Quartz Fest as far as videos go, unfortunately.
Oh, we did. We weren't in the exact same area you were. I think we went out a little farther or something. We were just in some little pull off out there. We didn't go to the little rest area where you were.
I went to the Welcome Center, which is just inside the boundary, which is why it counted.
Right.
Well, Chuck, I want to thank you for coming on. And what do you have coming up on your channel?
I'm doing a. I went motorcycle riding, dirt bike riding weekend before last, and I've got those. You know what a compressor refrigerator is, like an ice chest, but it's a refrigerator, AC/DC. I ran that thing off of 100 amp hour battery for 4 days. And in my video, I'm showing how many amp hours it took to charge it back, because my charger shows amp hours and how many amp hours it puts back into the battery.
Right.
Pretty interesting how long that thing, because those things are really pretty efficient compared to, like, if you had like if you were trying to run a house unit off of an inverter or something off of batteries, it wouldn't last very long. But this thing went 4 days and still had quite a bit left. So I'll probably put that video out in the next day or so. And then I'm also doing a helping hands, kind of what we did tonight, soldering
Right.
stuff, you know.
Very
A really
cool.
nice one. I was actually not going to do a review on it, and I started looking at what came on in the box. And I'm like, wow, this thing's actually way nicer than what I'm using.
Do you have that box there
So
still?
I do. I don't even know what the name of it is without looking them up, because there's no name on the box. But it has a bunch of parts to it,
Ah, very cool.
and it's pretty big.
That
The
looks
metal
big.
part. The metal parts, I don't think it's quite the size of that box, but I haven't taken it out yet, so I don't really know.
Okay.
I just looked in the box, and
Oh,
so I'll put that to use too.
well, thanks for coming on. Look forward to wrong way. There, no, still wrong way. There we go. Look forward
Opposite
to
of what you
seeing good
think.
videos on Chuck. Yeah, yeah. I have two monitors. I have me over on this monitor, and then you over on this monitor. So it's like, anyway,
I
go
got two
check out
monitors.
Chuck's channel. I'll leave him in the description there. And
All right,
until
everybody.
next time, guys, say bye, Chuck.
All right.